Well, the color is red this morning. The SGX Nifty is down over 350 points. Okay, 320 points now, indicating that the start will be deep in the red on account of that red-hot inflation number that came out in the US and the expectation that there would be a bigger rate hike than earlier anticipated. But let's talk about individual stocks in our own markets. Ambuja Cements is in focus on account of possible fundraising. Nigel has more. Nigel.
Well, Sonia, the stock has been moving just in one direction, that's upward. Yesterday as well, it ended at the high point of the day. And late last night, they came out with a disclosure on the exchanges that they're going to be meeting. There's going to be a board meet on September 16th, and they'll be considering and evaluating proposal for fundraising. They're saying it could be via various instruments, whether it's equity, convertibles, other instruments as well. Now, details on this fundraising will be awaited because the street will be waiting by whether or not it's for organic growth or is there some big organic growth that they're looking at. That's something that the street will be speculating on. And if they're going to be raising money via issue of shares, will it be to the promoter group? Are they looking to bring in a partner, or is it some fund, another fund that they are looking at? So details of this fundraising will be very, very crucially looked at. Let's see what comes out of it. But the stock could be a relative outperformer, as has been the case for the last 1 month or so.
All right. We'll keep an eye. Ambuja Cements in focus. Nigel, thanks very much for that. Now, State Bank of India, IndusInd, and a bunch of other financial institutions in focus. There have been management meetings with brokers. Lots of opinion coming through. Abhishek is here with a compilation. Abhishek, morning.
Morning, Prashant. So there was a Morgan Stanley conference wherein all the lenders that you mentioned were present. And the key takeaways, let's begin with SBI, wherein Morgan Stanley has an overweight rating and a target price of 675 per share. Over there, the key takeaway is that the loan growth momentum remains strong. They expect the margins to improve from Q2 FY23 onwards, asset quality to remain benign, and digital initiatives will gain strong traction in the coming quarters. So cost to income ratio, or the operating efficiency that we call in banking sector, will improve over the next few years. They also had IndusInd Bank at the conference. Over there, the target price is 1,400 with an overweight rating. The key initiative again being, growth visibility continues to improve. Deposit has seen strong traction, growing at 18 to 20% YOY, aided by strong traction in new initiatives they have taken on the deposit franchise of the bank. So margins should remain stable despite rising interest rate scenario that we have, and slippages should moderate, which means the credit cost would be around 120 to 150 basis point range for the whole year. AU Small Finance Bank was also at the conference. They have an overweight rating over there with a target price of 875 per share. They say that the key takeaway in the conference from AU was that growth momentum sustained despite higher rates, margins to remain stable here on, and asset quality trends to hold up being benign. Bob, or Bank of Baroda, was the other management. They have an overweight rating with a target price of 170. Bob has mentioned that, net interest margin will improve by 15 to 20 basis point in FY23. Loan growth will be in lower single digits. Asset quality trends to remain strong, and they are looking to subsidize some of their subsidiary stakes. Back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So that's on the banks. Optimistic news coming in there from Morgan Stanley. But let's move on to speak to Mangalam about Adani Ports and why he's tracking that one. Mangalam, over to you.
Well, I'm looking at Adani Ports as a place of relative strength in today's trading session because the management also met the analysts at Jefferies, and Jefferies came out impressed with it. They've raised their target price from 850 rupees to about 1100 odd rupees, and that's because they've upped their volume estimates for the next 2 years by 3 to 7%, and that has resulted in an EPS estimate being up by anywhere between 5 to 11%. Why is it that they've done that? Well, because one, the management has said that they will benefit from gradual volume recovery as global container rates have eased, and also they're growing in logistics as well as warehousing to offer customers end-to-end solutions. But more importantly, from a medium-term standpoint, double-digit volume growth will continue for them, and that's primarily because the company will replicate what it did in Mundra to gain market share at all the ports that all the acquired ports that the company's brought into its fold. And finally, the international foray that Adani Ports is looking at will not be at the cost of returns, will only be return accretive. So with all these things, the management has managed to impress the analysts at Jefferies, and they've upped their target price.
Got it. Mangalam, thanks a lot for giving us a quick update. Let's hop across to Vivek. He's joining in to tell us about some other stocks that are in news. Morning, Vivek.
Well, good morning. 4 stocks on the radar. The first one is Hudson Agro. The company has told the exchanges that they have a board meeting scheduled on 19th of September to consider fundraising via the rights issue. So watch out for this particular name. The other one, of course, is KEC International. The company has updated the exchanges about a whole host of order wins that they've got in various segments that they operate in. So new orders worth a little over 1,100 crores is what they've received. Now, a couple of very interesting block deals to keep on the radar. The first one, of course, is HDFC Life. Like we highlighted whole of yesterday, Aberdeen has sold close to 2% stake. Now they have around 1.66% stake left in this particular company. Very interesting. Whole host of long-only funds, insurance companies, as well as domestic mutual funds have picked up significant chunks. Some of the larger names being SBI Life Insurance, Nippon India Mutual Fund, Morgan Stanley, and BofA Securities Europe. So watch out for this particular name. Lastly, a smaller name, Amy Organics, not much discussed, but this particular name, there was a significant block deal yesterday. Promoters sold a significant chunk, but what has actually attracted quite a bit of market chatter is the fact that the small cap world fund Capital International has picked up a very significant stake, along with Plutus Wealth Management. So keep these stocks on the radar, could be relative outperformers.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. That's a pretty long list there. In case you missed out on any of them, here's a quick recap of our top stocks. Stocks with positive news flow, there's Adani Ports, Hatsun Agro, KEC International, HDFC Life, Ami Organics and Ambuja Cements. While stocks with negative news flow this morning, SBI, IndusInd Bank, AU Small Finance Bank and Bank of Baroda. But all eyes will be on what's happening in the world of commodities. There's been a slight dip